In the quiet hours before sunrise on an October night in 2015, a young woman walked toward the safety of her home. A familiar building, a familiar door, a place she trusted. She never made it inside. Her name was Sasha Samsudian, and what happened in that narrow window of solitude would devastate a community, shock investigators, and reveal a predator hiding behind a uniform. Tonight, we walk gently through a story of loss, determination, and the search for justice. A case where every step forward felt like stitching together a life taken too soon. At 27 years old, Sasha Samsudian was exactly the kind of person whose presence lifted the energy of a room. She had a warm smile, an easy laugh, and the kind of kindness that made people feel instantly welcome. Sasha worked in digital marketing in Orlando, and her co-workers remembered someone who brought creativity and calm into stressful days. Outside the office, she was lively and social, a young professional building her path, taking joy in the small rituals of life. Saturday brunches with friends, late-night talks, spontaneous adventures. She was close to her parents. She adored her friends. She was carving out a future in the city she loved. This is important. Before the investigation, before the forensic evidence, before the trial, Sasha was a daughter, a friend, a bright force moving forward. And that is how her story should always begin. October 17, 2015. Sasha went out with friends in downtown Orlando. A typical weekend night for a young professional living in the heart of the city. They laughed, shared drinks, moved from bar to bar, enjoying the neon warmth and the pulse of the crowd. There were group photos, messages, plans for the week ahead. Nothing dark, nothing suspicious, nothing foreshadowing what was to come. Around closing time, Sasha ordered an Uber to take her back to her apartment complex on Orange Avenue, a place she'd lived comfortably, a place she trusted. She said goodbye to her friends, still smiling. That was the last time they saw her alive. Around 1:45 a.m., Sasha was dropped off in front of her building. She walked toward the gate, used her key fob, and stepped into the corridor leading toward her unit. It was quiet, dimly lit, a typical Florida apartment walkway, open air, echoing with distant city noise. She reached her door and inserted her key. And then, something strange happened. Her door wouldn't open. It wasn't broken. It wasn't jammed. It simply resisted, as if something was obstructing it from the inside, or someone was preventing it from being opened. Sasha tried again, and again, growing frustrated, then worried. She called a friend, telling them she couldn't get in. She tried contacting the apartment office. She texted that she felt uneasy. Her messages were calm, but there's a tone in her words that hindsight makes devastating. She was trying to enter the one place she should have been safest, and she was unaware that someone was watching. The apartment complex employed a security guard named Stephen Duxbury, a man whose duty was to patrol the hallways, assist residents, and ensure safety at night. He had been working that evening. He had access to the building's layout. He had keys. He had authority. He also had something else, a predatory pattern investigators wouldn't understand until later. At some point after Sasha struggled with her door, surveillance footage showed Duxbury circling the walkways, moving in and out of the camera frames, appearing in spots he should not have been. He approached Sasha, offering help. He tried her door. He watched her. Detectives would later describe his behavior not as protective, but as opportunistic. A man in uniform, a woman alone, a moment where trust could be manipulated. This was the turning point. Based on surveillance, witness reports, and forensic reconstruction, investigators believe Duxbury used his position and his knowledge of the building to find a way into Sasha's apartment after she walked away for a moment seeking help. He enabled access. He bypassed security. He crossed the threshold she couldn't. What happened inside her apartment was violent and tragic, and out of respect, we will describe it only with the necessary clarity. Sasha was attacked. She suffered severe injuries. She fought desperately to survive. Her body bore signs of resistance and bravery. She died inside the space meant to protect her. When Sasha didn't respond to friends' messages the next morning, panic began to build. Calls went unanswered. Texts stayed unread. Concern grew. Family members were notified. Authorities were eventually contacted, and police entered the apartment. Inside, they found Sasha's body. The scene immediately signaled foul play. There was no ambiguity, no confusion, no possibility of accident or self-harm. This was a homicide, and detectives understood instantly that the danger had come from someone who knew the building. Someone who understood its weaknesses, its blind spots, its vulnerabilities. News of Sasha's death spread quickly across Orlando. Co-workers, neighbors, and friends held each other in disbelief. Her family faced an unimaginable reality. Their daughter gone, their lives suddenly carved open. Detectives began the meticulous work, securing the scene, collecting DNA, preserving digital records, reviewing surveillance, interviewing residents, tracking every movement in and out of the building. Nothing was rushed, nothing was overlooked, and soon the first break emerged, a detail that would shift the entire case. Inside Sasha's apartment, detectives handled every piece of evidence with care and restraint. They noted her injuries, not to sensationalize but to understand. The medical examiner later described significant bruising and trauma to her head, hips, and arms. These injuries told investigators two things. Sasha resisted, and the person who attacked her used force far beyond what was needed to overpower someone. It was clear. This attacker wasn't panicked. He was determined. But the most important discovery was not the injuries. It was what they revealed. Small traces, microscopic material, foreign DNA, and investigators collected all of it. The forensic team sent the evidence to the lab. Swabs from Sasha's skin, samples from beneath her fingernails, traces found on clothing, skin cells recovered from her body. When the results returned, detectives felt that jolt, the shift from theory to certainty. Male DNA, consistent, repeatable, strong enough for a positive identification, and not just anywhere. Some of the DNA was found on her breast, an area investigators considered particularly important because it showed intentional contact. This wasn't accidental transfer. This wasn't environmental contamination. This was the attacker. And when the sample was run through databases and compared to employees on file, one name rose to the top: Stephen Duxbury, the security guard, the man who approached her outside, the man whose role was to protect her. Detectives then expanded their review of the complex's surveillance system. What they saw was chilling. Duxbury walking corridors at unusual times, circling back repeatedly, disappearing around corners, tracking Sasha's movements before and after she arrived, returning to the building after certain intervals with no clear purpose. On camera he appeared too aware, pausing, waiting, watching. This wasn't the passive routine of a security guard. It was the behavior of someone monitoring a target. Even more unsettling, Duxbury accessed areas he could only reach with a master key. This key access log matched moments that aligned with the intrusion into Sasha's apartment. He knew the shortcuts. He knew the blind spots. He knew exactly how to move unnoticed. The uniform he wore gave him access. The authority he held gave him cover. And the cameras revealed everything he thought he had hidden. Once the DNA match hit the system, detectives called Duxbury in for questioning. At first, he kept his voice calm and polite, the tone of someone used to being treated as the one in control. He said he remembered seeing Sasha struggling with her door. He said he tried to help. He said he walked away. But detectives noticed something. He used vague language. He spoke in circles. He kept referring to what he usually did rather than what he did that night. And he couldn't explain why his DNA was on her body. He offered excuses that didn't fit. Maybe she brushed against me. Maybe I touched her helping with the door. Maybe it's from earlier in the night. None of these explanations matched the forensic locations. None matched the surveillance. None matched Sasha's injuries. The more he talked, the less believable he became. And investigators were only getting started. When detectives confronted him with details he didn't expect, his key access logs, his movements on camera, and the exact placement of his DNA, Duxbury's demeanor changed. He became defensive, then agitated, then inconsistent. He altered his timeline. He contradicted his earlier statements. He tried to distance himself from areas where cameras showed him clearly. And as investigators pressed harder, Duxbury shifted into a new tactic. He blamed Sasha. He claimed she let him into the apartment. He claimed she offered him alcohol. He claimed consent. Detectives listened, then calmly presented the fatal flaw. Sasha's door showed no evidence of voluntary unlocking. Her body showed signs of a struggle. Her phone showed messages of confusion and fear. Her friends confirmed she went home alone. And the surveillance footage showed him entering and exiting hallways with purpose, not being invited. His lies exposed his guilt. By aligning her Uber drop-off, her final texts, surveillance clips, neighbor interviews, building access logs, noise reports, forensic timestamps, detectives built the final timeline. Sasha arrives home at approximate 1:45 a.m. She struggles with her door. Duxbury approaches her, observing closely. Sasha walks away briefly to seek help. Duxbury uses unauthorized access to enter her apartment. Sasha returns and enters the apartment. She is attacked shortly after. Duxbury is seen leaving various hallways for the next hour. He does not call for help, report anything, or notify residents. It was planned, it was opportunistic, and it was predatory. Everything pointed to one conclusion. After reviewing the completed evidence package, detectives obtained an arrest warrant. Duxbury was taken into custody without incident. The silence in his voice, the sudden calm, revealed what investigators already knew. He had no more stories left to spin, no more excuses to offer, no more room to maneuver. The evidence was airtight. The state of Florida charged Stephen Duxbury with first-degree murder, burglary with assault or battery, attempted sexual battery with a weapon or physical force. Prosecutors announced they would not seek the death penalty, but the charges alone made it clear. Sasha's case was understood. Her voice was heard. Her fight was recognized. And justice was now moving toward the courtroom. When the trial opened, the courtroom filled with family, friends, neighbors, and members of the Orlando community who had followed Sasha's story for months. This wasn't just a criminal proceeding. It was a room full of people who carried the weight of loss, people determined to honor Sasha by watching justice unfold. The state presented its case with clarity and compassion. They worked carefully, speaking of Sasha with dignity, avoiding sensational detail, and focusing on evidence anchored in fact. They told the jury one truth above all. Sasha came home that night expecting safety, and the person responsible for protecting her used that trust against her. Prosecutors presented the evidence methodically. DNA evidence. The lab results showed Stephen Duxbury's DNA on Sasha's body. Particularly, forensic techs emphasized the placement, locations indicating intentional contact, not accidental transfer. Surveillance footage. Jurors watched Duxbury appear and disappear across multiple camera angles, circling Sasha's path, approaching her door, then returning at suspicious intervals. His movements weren't random. Access logs, Keycard data proved Duxbury entered restricted areas during the exact time frame where Sasha was attacked. He used his master key without authorization. Sasha's final messages. Her text showed confusion, fear, and frustration. Not intoxication, not carelessness. She was trying to get home safely. Inconsistencies in Duxbury's statements. His interviews were played in court. The jurors heard him shift stories, contradict himself, and attempt to blame the victim. Each new explanation unraveled under the weight of physical evidence. The prosecution never overstated, never speculated. They let the facts speak. And slowly, the image became unmistakably clear. The defense attempted to argue. Duxbury was simply doing his job. His DNA might have transferred when he tried helping her. He was not inside her apartment during the murder. But each point fell apart. The DNA placement did not match a simple interaction. The access logs placed him inside the building at critical moments. The surveillance contradicted his timeline. Every attempt to redirect, every hypothetical scenario, every suggestion of innocence failed to explain a single central fact. Sasha was attacked inside a locked apartment. An apartment only she and someone with a master key could enter. And Duxbury held exactly that. After days of testimony, cross-examinations, and forensic review, the jury deliberated. When they returned, the courtroom went still. Stephen Duxbury was found guilty of first-degree murder, burglary with assault or battery, attempted sexual battery. He showed little emotion as the verdict was read, but the room reacted in quiet waves, shaking breath, hands held tightly together, not in triumph, but in relief. Sasha's family had waited months for this moment. The community had held its breath. Justice finally had a name and a face. The judge sentenced Duxbury to life in prison. Prosecutors did not seek the death penalty, a decision made in respect of the family's wishes and the desire for finality without years of appeals. The sentence ensured he would never again hold a position of trust, never again walk a hallway under the cover of authority, never again have the opportunity to harm another woman. The courtroom recognized Sasha's strength, her attempts to fight, her courage in the face of fear. The judge spoke directly to the devastation left behind, acknowledging the unimaginable pain caused by the person who should have protected her. It was not closure, but it was justice. Sasha's case shook the city. Residents demanded stronger safety protocols in apartment complexes, better surveillance, improved lighting, tighter hiring standards for security guards, stricter access key monitoring, background checks with real enforcement. Young women living downtown formed community groups to support one another, encouraging safer late-night practices and improved building protections. Sasha's family, though heartbroken, became vocal advocates for better residential security across Florida. Her story was not forgotten. It pushed a community toward awareness and reform. Sasha's life mattered. She was not defined by her final moments, but by the energy she brought to every day she lived. Her kindness, her friendships, her professional drive, her laughter, her presence, her light. Her loved ones continue to speak of her courage, her gentle soul, and her determination, qualities reflected deeply in the way she fought for her safety that night. Her memory lives on through advocacy, through community awareness, and through every person who shares her story with compassion. What happened to Sasha was horrific, but the impact of her life remains powerful, and tonight we honor that life. If you found this case fascinating, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We post crime case videos every night. Until next time, stay sharp, stay vigilant.